Hi guys, in this video we will be taking a look at my large tropical planted aquarium. I recently moved this aquarium and decided to give it a makeover as well. So if you want to see that, keep on watching. As you just might be able to see, this aquarium hasn't received a great deal of love and attention lately. Luckily, as I'm sure you know, I'm a bit of an ecosystem fanatic, so the aquarium is doing fine. It just looks a bit like a jungle. Of course, the fish don't mind, but it's not the look I want right now. I'll try to take out some of this, what I believe to be shrimp poo, to prevent extremely cloudy water once I start taking out plants. The only reason I messed this up is because I'm used to a larger hose, not due to a lack of experience. Come on guys! Okay, so that turned out to be a pointless exercise. Now, I'm going to first take the plants out anyway. I'll try to catch one of the coolie loaches. Yeah, not a chance. Next step is taking out the large wooden centerpiece with all the java fern on top. And looky here, what a nice surprise. I hadn't seen the red tiger lily in years. Now to take out the rest of the plants, including the large Amazon sword. I think all the plants are removed now, though it is a bit hard to tell. Next step is draining the water and catching the shrimp and fish. I already managed to catch one of the Amano shrimp. Catching the coolie loaches will be a challenge. They're quite difficult to catch anyway, but my coolie loaches also love swimming behind the 3D background, somehow. Anyway, look how healthy and happy it looks. Most water and fish are out now. It's funny to see that one of the java ferns attached itself to the background. I never knew that before. At this point I have given up on catching all the shrimp and decided to take out the sand but leave a bit of water for the shrimp. The reason I want to take out as much as possible is to reduce weight. Because these are the stairs they have to go down. Being so narrow, there's only really space for 2 people. I wasn't able to film this, but I can tell you it wasn't fun. Luckily I had help. It almost slipped from my hands only 2 or 3 times and my back hurt just for 2 days. All in all, a success. Here it is in its new spot. The first thing I'll do is add some water, so the shrimp won't get buried when I add the sand. I probably should have washed the sand first, because I already know this will stay cloudy for days. On the other hand, I don't want to wash away all the nutrients, so I'll just leave it like this. Now for the first and last piece of Hardscape, the wood. Now it's time to acclimate and add the fish. I'm using maybe a bit of an enthusiastic drip acclimation to acclimate the fish and the shrimp that are in the bucket. The fact that it's going a bit fast shouldn't really matter, as the temperature is already the same, which is the most important anyway, and the aquarium was filled with Amsterdam tap water, and so is this one, so it's just more just to be sure. Here they all go. Except for the Amano shrimp, who appear to be a bit more stubborn. For now the aquarium has turned very cloudy, but it'll clear up over time. Despite not really being able to see anything, I did already want to add the plants, because I don't like leaving them sitting in the bucket for too long. So I had no other choice but to do some blind aquascaping, relying mostly on my sense of touch. I already know what I want it to look like and which plants I want where, so it should be fine, right? I guess the coolie loaches are loving it. The next morning we can see a bit more, but still not much. Except for this cutie over here. Look, he's loving it. Here's a rare sighting of a striped coolie loach, which I barely get to see. They're a bit more of a shy species. Alright, it's been 2 days since I moved the aquarium, and now I can finally actually see the aquascape I did. I went for something a bit different than usual in this aquarium. For whatever reason, I'm always really successful with growing plants in this aquarium, and I really like aquatic plants as well, especially in aquariums. So usually this tank is just completely full of plants. But I wanted to go for something a bit different. I wanted to have the wood with a java fern in the center as a centerpiece. And I wanted to keep the corners and the edges of the tank clear of any plants. So it doesn't become an aquarium that's just full of plants and that's it. I wanted to have something I actually thought about. And I'm quite happy with how it turned out. There's just a few minor things I want to change. For instance, the Potamogemon stellatus octopus here. I want to move it a bit further to the back so it blocks the view of the filter inlet. And then I want to move this brown crypt a bit more forward so I can put the Amazon sword a bit more forward as well, a bit more in the spotlight. And then I want these crypts that are growing here, I want to move them a bit further back, so that the wood with the java fern on top of it is really the centerpiece of the aquarium. I really like these roots of the java fern, but right now they're a bit long, so I think I'll trim them down just a bit, and I think that'll look even better. And then on this side I want to again move the octopus a bit further back to block the view of the heater. I'm gonna leave the valves where they are, the Vallisneria, because I want to, when they grow a bit more, I want them to come up in the stream of the filter outlet and go over the water like this. And then in the back there's a few plants that I just have to straighten out a bit because they got folded over when I planted them, and then they'll come up from behind the wood here. So that's the plan. I'll attempt to film some of the scaping, but you might not see much because of the way the lighting works. In which case I'll either throw out the footage or you get to see it anyway. After letting it rest for a few days, this is what it looks like. It usually takes a week or two to look really nice after all the trimmed plants have grown in a bit. For now I'm happy with the result. As you've probably noticed, there's not a whole lot of fish in this aquarium. The reason being is that I knew this move was coming up for about 3 years, and in that time period I didn't buy any new fish. Because I've had this aquarium for almost 10 years and many fish have been there from the start, a lot of them died of old age by now. Those 2 cardinal tetras are 10 years old and they probably won't be swimming around for another 10. Anyway, I do want more fish of course. I'm not completely sure about what I want though. I might want a South American biotope with hatchet fish as top dwellers, corridoras as bottom dwellers and tetras or micro geophagus. But then I'd have to get rid of the coolie loaches and the shrimp and half the plants. Or I might want a Southeast Asian biotope with more coolie loaches as bottom dwellers, wrestling half-beaks as top dwellers and Indian glassfish as mid dwellers. But then I'd still have to get rid of half of the plants. Most likely though, I'll just mix it up a bit. Definitely share your thoughts on what you think would be nice in this beautiful tank. Here are a few little extras just for you. Look at this big Amano shrimp doing shrimp stuff. Isn't that great? Look, I fed it a pea. This is the aquarium 4 weeks later. I'm quite happy with how it looks. I could look at this aquarium and also film it for hours, but maybe let's not do that. Thank you for going along this journey with me. I know it isn't exactly the regular Life in Jars content, but hopefully you still enjoyed it. Well, that's about it. Bye!